Welcome to the lecture series in computer science on principles of deep learning. In today's session, we are going to focus on machine learning tools and Python. And in the agenda of today's session is about introduction to various tools and libraries that are available for performing the machine learning modeling, an introduction or basics about the Python programming language and various sample codes. In previous session, we have discussed the importance of machine learning and the various algorithms that will be used in machine learning for building the models. In today's session, we are focusing on machine learning tools that are the various libraries that are already available built in to perform the machine learning modeling. So, if you take initially the natural language processing, the tools available are SPACY, BERT, NLTK. So, the SPACY is an open source NLP library used for processing the advanced text processing information. So, BERT is a bidirectional encoder representation from transformers, and this is a pre-trained model for natural language understanding developed by Google. And we come across NLTK, which is the natural language toolkit. It's in Python, it's available in Python library, and mainly this is used for working with the human language data. And moving on to computer vision tools, the various tools that are available to perform some of the image processing activities are OpenCV, open source computer vision library for image and video processing, and TensorFlow object detection API, that is a framework for training and deploying object detection models, and YOLO, you only look once, it is a real time object detection system. Moving on to the other frameworks, the libraries that are available in Python are TensorFlow, PyTorch and scikit-learn. So, TensorFlow we already know it is an open source platform mainly developed by Google to perform the various deep learning modeling. PyTorch, it is an open source deep learning framework. This is developed by Facebook's AI research lab. Now, scikit-learn, this is also a library that is available in Python, which provides a simple and efficient tools for data analysis and modeling. Moving on to the various tools that can be applied for any of the real world chatbots or the virtual assistants. There is a Dialogflow tool, Microsoft Blot framework, IBM Watson assistant. So, these are the various libraries used to develop the chatbots. When you come to Dialogflow, it is a natural language understanding platform for building the conversational applications. That means the user can interact with the system. And Microsoft Bot framework, it is a platform for deploying the chatbot across the multiple channels. IBM Watson assistant is also a chatbot, which is a virtual assistant given by the IBM. So, moving on to the data analytics and business intelligence tools, where we can report a better decision making way. The tools that are used are the Tableau, Power BI and the Google Data Studio. So, Tableau we all know that is a popular data visualization tool which is used for the business intelligence for data reporting, and Power BI is from the Microsoft, and this is also mainly used for creating the interactive reports or the dashboards. Moving on to the Google Data Studio, it is a free data visualization tool or the reporting tool developed by Google. Now, moving on to the tools that are available in healthcare sector, we have IBM Watson Health, which offers AI powered solutions for healthcare providers and researchers. And Path AI is an AI tool, mainly it consists of an AI assistance used for the pathologist in diagnosing diseases from medical images. So, while moving on to the discipline of autonomous vehicles, the tools that are there are the robot operating system, which is a very flexible framework for writing the robot software, and Waymo, which is the Google self driving technology, which uses the AI for having the autonomous vehicles. And this Tesla Autopilot, this is the tool that was developed by Tesla, which has the advanced driver assistance system, and it uses AI and the neural networks. Now, moving on to the domains of cyber security and finance, we have the tools like dark trace, silence and semantic endpoint protection. So, the dark trace is mainly uses the AI for cyber security, which monitors the network behavior and it detects the anomalies. And silence is a tool which also uses the artificial intelligence. It is mainly used for threat prevention. And moving on to the semantic endpoint protection, it offers AI driven with respect to the cyber threats. And here Quant Connect, Adipar and Alpaca are the tools that are available to do the financial transactions. Mainly the first one, Quant Connect, is used for providing a platform for quantitative trading that uses the AI algorithm. And Adapar is an AI powered again financial analytics and reporting tool. And this Alpaca provides algorithm for data services for mainly for trading. So, we have come across learned different modeling techniques with respect to machine learning and deep learning, and the tool that will be used throughout the topics are the basics of the Python. Python is a programming language and this language has a vast number of libraries for performing both machine learning and deep learning frameworks. Now, moving on here, it is a general purpose programming language and it is object oriented and it is an open source. It is about the cross platform where it operates under Windows, Linux, Mac OS, etc. It is very readable and it is concise language with a clear syntax, and we have here the high quality packages used for developing various applications, and all of these are free to use. So, this is about the basics of Python. So, moving on to the various models that are going to be built with the TensorFlow and Keras, we should know a little bit of Python initially. Over the sessions, we come across several different syntaxes that use Python as the base language. So, we will just learn here what are the various data types, various operators, control structures, how the functions has to be written in Python language as far as today's session is concerned. Moving on to the Python actual IDLEs, there are various platforms that are available to do the Python programming in the market. So, we have the Python IDLE, we have the Atom, Thorny Software, PyCharm, Vim, Spider, Visual Studio, and there are many more online free editors also to perform or to work with Python libraries. And if you do not want to install anything, we can easily we can go to Google Colab and we can, without installation of any of the Python libraries, we can run the Python code. And moving on here with respect to the libraries, we have the important libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and to know about the visualizations, we have the Seaborn library and Matplotlib library. So, these are the various libraries which was helpful to perform or build the robust deep learning models. Then moving on to the actual data types, Python has a many numeric data types like integer, float, complex and boolean. It has a list of container classes like list, set, tuple or string data type and dictionary data type, and the other two are the NumPy and Pandas frameworks. Now, here if you see the overall Python data types, we come across, if you wish to handle the data integer or float, we have to choose the numeric data type. If we are using a list of values like an arrays, here there is no, we have the concept of arrays in form of list and tuple. We come across shortly the exact definition of both of them, and then we have sequence of data types, that is the values being stored in successive array elements. So, that we call it as either we can use a string data type or list data type or tuple data types. Now, moving on to the actual simple coding in Python, any variable can be declared without mentioning any of the data types. So, we can just simply say x is equal to 5. So, this assigns the value of 5 to the x, and if you wish to print the value of x, there is a command called print, and print of x gives the values that is contained in the x on the output device. So, this is a very simple program assigning a value to a variable and printing the same value. Now, here if you see a list of other code that we can understand in using the Python language. X is equal to 34 minus 23, here minus indicates the various operators that are being used inside the Python programming language. So, as usual in any of the programming languages, here also we have assignment operators, arithmetic operators, bitwise operators, logical operators, relational operators and identity operators. If you see the first one, arithmetic operators over here, so plus, minus, multiplication or division, modulus operator, these are the various arithmetic operators we have. So, how to assign or perform any of the arithmetic operations? It is very well given. If you have, suppose consider two variables we are taking, a is equal to 3 value and b is equal to 2 value. You want to perform an arithmetic over here, c is equal to a plus b gives the addition of two values. If you wish to print the value, we can print of within brackets we can print the c value. This is a very simple program. Without mentioning any of the data types, we can perform the arithmetic operators. Similarly, instead of a plus b, you can give a minus b, or a multiplied by b you can use, or a divided by b you can use. So, these are the applications with respect to the operators is concerned. Now, see here, there is a special type of operator mentioned over here called the hash symbol. So, the hash symbol is used to mention the comment in case of the Python programming language. Now, moving on to the other operators, if you take an assignment operator, operator usually assigns the value from the right hand side to the left hand side. See here we have used x is equal to x plus 1. This is the value of x being incremented by 1 and it is being assigned again to the x. So, this can be written in shortcut form as x plus is equal to 1. So, this is the shorthand operation for x is equal to x plus 1. So, using the assignment operators, we are here to perform any of the shortcut methods like x minus is equal to 1 or x slash is equal to 1 or x into is equal to 1, which elaborates or give the expansion of the assignment operators. Okay. Then moving on to the logical operators, whenever a condition is being applied, if you are using any of the conditions to solve your problem, then we use the logical operators. Some of the examples are and, or, not, etc. So, see here in this example, an if condition is being used and or symbol, logical operator is being applied over here. So, there are two conditions over here, z double equal to 3.45 or y double equal to quotations hello. So, this two conditions check the values, double equal to here indicates that left hand side value is equivalent to right hand side value or not. Okay. Similarly, one is the floating data type, other is the string data type. So, this full sentence represents a conditional statement with the logical operators. If the condition is true, the set of statements under that particular if condition gets executed. And here we should think of that Python is an indentation language. So, within f, using the tab space, we need to write the set of statements that is to be executed when the condition is being true. So, if the condition is true, you are incrementing x value and y has been concatenated with a string of world here, and both x and y are going to printed over in the next couple of statements. So, now, out of all these operators, we have used in our program the assignment operator, arithmetic operators, logical operator, relational operator is also being used here. See here, a relation operator used to check whether one value is greater than or less than the other value. So, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to and double equal to indicates the various relational operators. And identity operator is used to check whether an element belongs to the particular data type or not. So, is and is not are the operators that are used to perform the identity operations. So, out of all this entire program, we understood that we can very well assign a value directly, and then here see y is equal to hello is a string data type, Z is a floating data type, X is an integer data type. We have applied the condition, and here the set of statements gets executed depending upon the condition, whether it is true or false. If Z value is 3.45, is it correct? Yes, true. Y is equal to hello is correct? Yes, it is true. Both the conditions are true. So, we are incrementing the x values by 1. So, already 34 minus 23 value is 11. So, 11 plus 1 12 is the value that is contained in x, and y is equal to word gets concatenated with hello. So, the output of these two statements will be x is equal to some 12 and y is equal to hello world. So, this is a simple program to depict how the Python programming language can be used. So, if you are well versed with these operators, then we can very well do the call the libraries of TensorFlows and Keras for performing the machine learning operations. Now, moving on to the other basic data types, list, tuple, set and dictionary. We know that all these are sequential data types, and list is a collection which is ordered, and this allows the duplicate members to be inside the list collection. And if you take a tuple, this also allows the duplicate numbers, and this is also an ordered collection of data, but here the values cannot be interchanged, or you can't change a value that is being assigned in a tuple. In case of a list, you can change the list values. Now, moving on to a set, we already know set is a collection. In the mathematical set is same as this set, it is unordered and unindexed, and here in set no duplicate members are allowed. Now, moving on to a dictionary, this is an unordered collection, we can change the values, it is indexed also, no duplicate member is allowed. So, this is the basic we understood with respect to list, tuple, set and the dictionary sequence types. Now, if you see the syntax how this can be called in Python, list you have to create the variables by enclosing in a square bracket, within that we have to use the single quotes. So, see here classmate is a list data type which consists of 3 parameters Michael, Bob and Tracy, where the values of these parameters have been enclosed using the single quotes. Now, if you directly just give classmates in the Python command prompt, we will get the output of the list that is already been created. Okay. Then next tuple, tuple is created using the parenthesis, open and close parenthesis, the values are being enclosed with the single quotes. Now, if you see the set data type, it is created using set, open parenthesis, square brackets, we are mentioning the values as 1, 2, 3 etc. And if you print S directly at the command prompt, using the curly braces, the output values 1, 2, 3 gets printed. Now, while moving on to a dictionary, it is a key value pair, whereby see here for each of the key there is a value that is being assigned, and if you want to display any of the particular features of either you can use the key pair or the value pair to display the values. So, if you just mention D of Michael, it just displays the value that is assigned to the Michael, that is 95. So, these are the various list data types. Now, moving on to here the right hand side part, how this particular data types can be incorporated in any of the programming language, I mean any of the programming loops. We can just see here we are creating a colors list which encompasses red, green, yellow and black colors that have been given using the double quotes, and here we are using a for loop for x in colors. So, the x contains, it gets one by one value from the colors list, and here print x displays the values. See here red, green, yellow and black, like that it gets printed. Now, if you see if you want to print individual characters also from the list, you can directly take a string data type S is equal to double quotes red, and for x in S you can just mention print x. So, individual characters of red gets printed RED. So, in this way we just discussed here in this example how to use a for loop, what is the syntax for using a for loop. In next coming slide we will be discussing the control structures that are there in the Python. Now, here we come across the basic data types. The other data types are the numpys which are used to create the arrays, modify the arrays or to perform any of the array operations. When you consider numpy here, we will create the set of matrices type of built-in functions. So, here creation includes an array creation or using linspace, or you can arrange these these methods you can use for creating the arrays. Similarly, if any of the array can be, you can add more values to it, you can reshape any of the arrays, you can perform transpose operations, you can do a sorting for any of the values that are contained in the array, and you can perform the rounding operation. And here if you want to do some of the operations within that array, you can find out a maximum value, you can find out a minimum value within the array, and you can find the dot and sum of any particular array values. Here indexing and slicing also is available with respect to the NumPy frameworks. Now, moving on to the actual control structures. Here Python consists of, as usual in all of the programming languages, there will be a statements per sequence of instructions. There will be certain things where a set of statements get iterated through the loops, or there might be some conditions. Based on the conditions you need to select and execute some of the set of the statements. So, all these comes under the control structures. When you take the sequence data type, see here name. So, when you take the sequence data type, see here where you are assigning a name with double quotes and age over here. Now, how the flow chart of this, you have the rectangle symbol for assignment, and then you have the parallelogram symbol for printing the name and age. So, this here the name itself indicates it is a sequence of instructions gets executing. Now, when you move on to the other part called the selection part, selection is making a set of statements either true or false. Okay. Depending upon the value, the loop gets or the statements gets flowed to the other part. So, if the condition is true, the true parts gets executed. If the condition is false, the false parts gets executed. So, depending upon the condition, see here I not equal to 10, then you are doing it, otherwise you are not doing it. Okay. Not equal to 10, then you are going to perform something when it is true. So, this is about the if condition. You can even write an if else statement in Python. So, if the condition is true, some set of statements, else some set of statements. See here the usage of colon in all of the conditions. So, as in Python programming language, the syntax is we have to use colon in any of the for, while, if or the entire of the control structure statements. Now, moving on to the while statement, see here when a set of condition is true, you are going on repeating the same set of instructions. See here while I not equal to 10, you are going to perform z is equal to z minus 3 repeatedly until the condition is false, you are going to exit the while loop. Now, moving on to the for loop, how to use for I in range of values from so and so. You can give two values from initial value to the starting value, or you can entirely say it's till the value is 6, you are going to perform some addition work y is equal to y plus 1 like that. So, for everything the flow chart have been depicted. So, entire control structure defines the statement flow of execution, whether it can be sequential or iteration or selection. So, this is the syntax we have to learn with respect to the Python language when we are using the control structures. So, for what is the syntax for I in range of, while what is the syntax, while some condition colon some value. See, in each of the statements there is an indentation in Python. All the statements starts within the tab space. It has to go one tab inside if the condition is true to get executed. Okay. Then now moving on to the concept of Python functions. See here everything in Python can be written in form of a modules. So, we need to know what are the different types of functions are there in Python to just understand. So, there is a concept of user defined functions where user will write their own functions. There is a concept of built in functions where already function is being written, we are going to use whenever we require it. And lambda function is a shortcut function which get instantly executed instead of switching over of something, and recursive function where the function calls by itself recursively. So, these all we have learnt in our previous programming languages, we are well versed as a computer science students, but here in Python how to just call out this, what is the syntax for creating this. See here this is the basic syntax. All the functions will be created using a keyword called def. So, def add, within the parameters you will mention the list of parameters either 2 variables or 3 variables, whatever it might be, and these variables have been used inside the function, and then you are performing something and we are returning the value of something. So, these are the basic syntax statements when you are writing the module of the functions. Now, how to call this function in the main program? We already know what a function is. Whenever a set of statements has to be executed repeatedly for some number of times, as and when it is called, we write that particular module in form of a function. So, here inside the main function, you are going to call that function and the value gets rested in res, the result is there in res. So, we are printing the res. So, this is an example of how the functions has to be created using the Python coding. Now, here see the lambda function. This is an example of lambda function where you are defining a such that a into a is being defined over here. So, it is a one line where it gets executed there itself and the value gets stored in f automatically without any switch over from main to, see here in case of here when it is being called, function is being called, function gets executed over here. So, this calling and switching will not be there in case of the lambda function. Now, moving on to the final step, till now we have just discussed the basics of Python with respect to the data types, operations or different operators, or with respect to looping control statements, how many types are there, or the functions, how to write. Now, here our aim is not to directly move into the deeper of the Python. We are here to know about how Python libraries helps for building a model in machine learning or deep learning. So, our ultimate aim is how to take a data set, how to load a data set in Python. So, see here, these are the import libraries that will be helpful for us in uploading or in loading a data set in Python. So, here we are loading a built-in data set called the iris data set, and here the data frame is being used, numpys and pandas are being used here, pandas framework, PD is the pandas framework. So, the syntax is dot data frame. We have to provide some initial set of parameters whereby you are mentioning that iris data goes into the data type, you are taking the features from the iris data set and you are defining the target element as iris.target. So, these are the fields we are taking. Now, df.head means the first 5 lines of that particular data set values gets printed over here. Now, moving on to the right hand side part, here instead of directly loading the built-in data set, we are loading a CSV file. So, how to do that? There is a function called read_CSV to perform this, and using that particular function we are loading the data set. So, if you understand this basics, we can very well go into the deep learning frameworks where these two statements will be the initial part for any of the programming models. Now, here the same how we will do with the TensorFlow dataset. What is the syntax that is going to be changed? So, import TensorFlow as TF, you are just taking a variable, and here we are loading the min IST data set, MN IST data set. Here some of the data is taken as training data, some will be taken as the test data, and this is the syntax for loading that MNIST_load data. So, this is the way in Python how we load the data set using the TensorFlow libraries. So, now this is the way to normalize it, and this is some of the functions where we will print the shape of our training data set, x and y coordinates. So, till now we were discussing about the machine learning, what are the different algorithms that have been used, what are the various libraries available for performing the machine learning models, and how Python, about the basics of Python, as well as in Python what is the main code that is used to take the data set and work on with the TensorFlow libraries. So, by this we will conclude this session, and in next session we will just discuss, we will concentrate on TensorFlow libraries mainly. Thank you.